What's up, metalheads? It's Death Metal Dave in your face here on metalmessiahradio.com. And I have another very special guest, a really good friend of mine for many, many years, Mr. Tony Choy, better known from Atheist and Cynic and Pestilence, if you will. What's up, Tony?
What's up, Death Metal Dave? What's going on, brother?
Just chilling. I know we've been talking about doing an interview with you for a while, and here we are. Fuck yeah, man. And I really appreciate you coming on with me.
Absolutely, man. I it's an honor and privilege for me, and it's a long time in the making. You know, I truly believe that, and you're doing some just free the interview right now, just knowing all of these wonderful things that you're doing for the industry, for the genre, and just overall the culture, man, the metal culture, the death metal culture. I congratulate you, and I'm super proud of you.
Well, you know,
Dave.
I appreciate that, and I've always, you know, Tony, supported every musician and every band in the state of Florida as far as metal goes, all genres. And I love doing it. You know, I wasn't the guy that I was in a couple bands, but I didn't go tour or record or do shit like that. But I always backed my friends before that and after and now too. And I always keep in touch with everybody too. Like you'll hear from me every once in a while, you know, say, hey, what's up, Tony?
Absolutely. I believe that, man, listen, loyalty has been lost in these days, you know, culture, authenticity, you know, and you carry all of these amazing emblems with you and flags that you freaking hail them high up in the sky, man. And, you know, I've seen the way that you work, the way that you support the band's obituary, first and foremost, you know,
yeah.
I mean, that's how you and I have this track record of brotherhood. It's not even friendship. It's brotherhood and family. I believe that the metal community overall, it's a family, man. It's a brotherhood and a family. And, I owe my life to the metal genre. I owe my life to the death metal genre. It's made me, it's rooted me, man. It's definitely like rooted me to, this little plant. Let's start by the seed. This little seed that was planted here in Florida overall, you know, and obviously a tree that grew with branches and bearing good fruit, man. I mean, I truly believe that I owe my career to the death metal genre and all that is.
Fuck yeah, man. And yeah, it is a healthy tree too, still to this day. And you have gone on to do amazing things, and I respect you so much, man. And I'm so happy for you. I mean, Grammys, which we'll talk about a little bit later, but man, I am always happy for whatever you're doing. Just like when you were DJing and me and Trevor, you know, went up and saw you, and you know, I always support all my friends and all these guys and everything they do, no matter what it is in life that they're doing. And
absolutely, man. I've always been a firm believer that, you know, we have no ceiling, man. People say, oh, the sky's the limit. No, it's not. There is no fucking limit, bro. The limit, you put the limit. You know what I'm saying? You put that standard or that cap. And I have none, man. You know, I've always been an adventurous to venture, you know, in music, in business, in anything I do, I put these 2 feet forward. And I'm not going to test the waters. I'm going to fucking jump right in, bro.
Oh, yeah.
No matter how cold it is, how hot it is, I don't give a fuck, bro. I'm going in, bro. I'm going in. Deep? Fuck yeah, bro. You know, I'm going in, bro. I'm going to swim. I'm going to freaking catch my breath, go back down, go back up. It's a process, man. It's a process. And I always tell people, man, this is not a sprint. It's a fucking Iron Man, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
this
right.
is shit that's triathlon, bro. You got to jump on that bike. Then you got to run. Then you got to fucking swim. Then you got to, God, whatever, bro, listen, whatever you got to do And I always say, the journey, this and that, it's like people concentrate too much on the journey and the destination and where am I going and the outcome. Listen, the outcome changes the fucking plan. Fuck the outcome. Just go and do it, And you know what? And you know what the most important about all of this is the people that you meet, bro.
Yeah.
The people, bro. The brotherhood, the people that change your life for the good or the bad is still an experience, and it's a learning process, bro. You learn from all this shit, man. It's a school. I tell people, welcome to the school of Earth. Some people drop out. Some people get their bachelor's degree. Some people get their master's. Some people get their PhD. But, man, get ready. The school of hard knocks, that shit ain't a metaphor for fucking nothing. This shit is fucking life, bro. Get ready, bro, to fight, And it's like, and people think it's like, oh, man, woe is me, oh, this and that. Man, stop your fucking pity party and get fucking right to it, man. Fuck that, So, anyways, sorry, folks, for all the cussing, I don't mean to. But I'm passionate when I speak about us, when I speak about matter, which at the end of the day, it doesn't fucking matter. Nothing ever mattered. It's just that, you gotta take matters into your own hands. You gotta have mind over matter. You know what I'm saying? So look, matter comes after. You gotta do your shit and get out there and make it happen, bro.
Hell yeah. And I always, like you, I'm positive at everything that I do. I don't get down on it. Yeah, sometimes I get stressed at my daily job. It's
part of life, bro.
Yes,
it's part of life.
But you just said, you work through it, you grind through it, and what I always look at when I'm having a rough day is, I could be in a worse place like some people, and
that's right.
I am not. And this position I am in allows me to do the things that I'm trying to do for the metal community, that I am doing for the metal community, or trying to promote everybody. And that allows me to do it. So, but yeah, positive thoughts all the time, Tony. And, man, all right, let's go into some history about Tony. Tony Choy, please tell me, were you born in Miami or Cuba, or were you just a Cuban American? Tell me about let's start early, man, and then get into how you got into music and shit.
Well, yeah, I'm a Cuban born kid, came to the USA, Miami for that is in 1978. My father's a musician, man. Still to this day, he's 90 years old.
Wow.
90 years young.
Fuck
and
yeah.
He still rips on guitar, bro. You know
Sick.
what I'm saying? And yeah, and my dad was signed to RCA. We were wealthy. We were wealthy. We were well in Cuba, man, But my dad, unfortunately, on a flight back from Russia, something happened with the security of state in the airport, which is TSA today, what we call TSA today, which there are a bunch of, well, I'm not going to say that. but anyways, you know the process when you go through the airport and stuff like that. Well, back then it was kind of different, but the same, and my dad loved to smoke cigars. And I don't know the real story, but something happened where my dad ended up in jail. They threw him in prison for something that he did with I think he manhandled, like he slapped. I don't know, something. An altercation happened to be short about it.
Was that in Cuba or Russia?
In Cuba, it was in Cuba. It was in Cuba. He was actually making a connection because he was flying to Japan, to do a tour. He was signed here. He signed to RCA in 1975. He released a record called Bésame Mucho, which my father was the the writer and arranger for the whole record, you know?
Killer.
And basically, so long story short, they threw him in jail 5 years. I didn't see my dad. I think I was 2 the last time I saw my dad till I was 5. No, I was 1 year old because he was there for like 5 years, you know?
Wow.
So then, 5 years. And I remember I used to go and see him all the time and blah, 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 and all this type of stuff. And it was rough, man, when I lost my dad in that period of time, because, you know, we didn't have dad anymore, and we didn't have that type of finances anymore, right, and stuff like that. They taken. My dad left us set up. He left us with a condo in penthouse in Havana, blah, blah, blah. So we were good, you know, for that time being. And then obviously when the Castro regime started doing these treaties with Jimmy Carter, here goes the chance for, they told my dad, you have a chance to get out of jail. And my dad said, what is it? And he said, you have to go to the United States. If not, you remain in jail another 5 years. And he was like, fuck, I'm leaving, you know?
Yeah.
So here we are. We literally had 3 months, bro, to pack up our shit and get the fuck out of Cuba, bro, you know?
Right.
So
right.
Here we are changing pesos to dollars and this and that, because we needed money when we got here. So my dad had a lot of money saved up, cash money in bags. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And freaking, cause I looked at it, I saw like stacks and stacks of money, you know, that were saved up, you know, because in Cuba, if you report this money like any other place, they'll take it away from you. Literally, like they'll fucking come and take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, that's why Cuba's in the shithole for 60 years and counting, you know what I'm saying? And,
yeah.
So anyway, long story short, we come to Miami and let this be for the record. Everything in life is a sacrifice. So literally my dad's journey of landing in jail was the sacrifice that got us here. If not, I would have been in fucking Cuba right now, bro. You know what I mean? God knows the Tony Choy that I would have been, you know?
Right.
Who fucking knows, you know? So, and I tell this to my dad every day. I thank him. I said, Papi, thank you, man. Thank you. And he says, son, don't worry about it. I'm like, no, I got to thank you. But guy, listen, Dad, this is true shit. This is true deal, bro. You got to recognize when people make sacrifices for you in life, bro. You know, your parents, your grandparents, you know, like kids nowadays, they feel all entitled to fucking whatever the fuck it is, you know? And it's like, look, listen, I've got news for you, man. Newsflash. We come from nothing. It's up to us to make it something. And we go back with nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people don't realize the fucking process, you know? But I do. I got it straight up. So I'm like, Dad, bro, yo, you gave up a lot. Yo, you gave up your freedom for us to be free today, bro. Do you realize that? That my dad gave up his freedom in a cell, in a fucking jail cell, bro, so that I could be free today and I could be the Tony Choy that I am today.
Right.
Facts, bro.
Yeah.
This is fucking facts, bro, you know? And anyway, so here I am. I get here. I just turned 6 years old.
Well,
it was
was he still with RCA? Did he continue his music?
No. After that, you know, he lands in jail. He loses his record contract, blah, 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 blah. All shit goes to hell, you know, and that's it. He, you know, when he came here, he played in a couple of bands, a couple of trios and da-da-da-da. But he said, yo, this shit it's tough, you know, it's tough to be a musician here, especially when he has to start up again, you know, he's the new guy, blah, blah.
Right.
He had a lot of connections from Cuba, but the thing here is that he had to get a job. So he became this maintenance guy, you know, blah, 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 which, you know, later on down the line, it served him very good because he lives off his freaking pension today, his retirement.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? That, because music, music, bro. Music doesn't, unless you're fucking, some type of huge star with residual income, bro. You're a fucking starving ass musician. They're a busker in the fucking in the subway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So anyways, that's pretty much the how I got here to the USA in Miami. At 6 years old, 1978, we arrived on a plane. I remember people were greeting us. They gave us toys and this and that, and they put us in a hotel. And I was living in a hotel for like 6 months. And then the process of, because remember, you go through a process, you go through the system. You know what I'm saying? The resident alien card, that this and that. You're a 6-year-old. You're just having fun. You're going to school, and I didn't speak English. I
Gotcha.
just, for a moment, I don't remember that time that I don't remember when I didn't speak English, but I did. I did, I did it, so, anyways, that's pretty much that's the short end book.
So I guess you started picking up the guitar or bass because your dad was, once you got settled and got a little money to get something, or used his?
No. I was a painter first.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to be a commercial artist. Probably I would have made more money. But yeah, my dad was very, very artistic, and he used to draw me these caricatures,
Oh, okay.
and because he gave me a guitar when I was 6, and I didn't want to play. I said, I don't want to play. I don't want to be a musician. And he said, what do you mean? And I was like, no, Dad. So my dad's a really hands-off parent, like I am. I don't push anything. I just put it there.
Yeah.
And eventually, if you pick it up, you pick it up. If you don't, I'll see that you go do something else, and I'll support that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my dad just left it there, and eventually probably he'll pick it up, which I did. But true story is that I started drawing, and my dad used to draw me these caricatures, and I used to. He used to say, okay, when you do it exactly like that, bring it back to me. And I was like, oh, okay, challenge, boom. I love that shit,
Yeah.
I love learning. I'm a skill junkie, bro. I love learning new shit, So I was like, okay, boom. So then I would take my time, and sometimes I wouldn't bring it back for days. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Till it was great, boom. Then I would bring it out, oh wow, that's pretty good. Then he'll do another way, boom. And I became so good at it that when he gave it to me at one time, I did it right there in front of him.
Oh,
and he was like, holy shit. He was like, okay, it's time to put you in some classes. So he put me with a private teacher. And then I started doing canvas and pastel and oil and all this stuff. And I would do like mini murals and paper mache. And I was this artistic kid, And he was like, okay, it's time to put you in a conservatory. So he put me in this conservatory when I was 9 and then I would be like with big kids, like 18, 21. And I was like this little kid, and the teacher would be very mean to me. I remember that,
Wow.
But it was good, It made me really good. But then at 13, I discovered metal music. I Led Zeppelin, Wasp, Green Reaper, fucking Metallica. I remember when I got the Whiplash EP, Destruction, Infernal Devastation, Destructor, Corrosion of Conformity, blah blah. And then I was fucking so
got the
much
bug.
into Yeah, the fever, bro, like super fever, man. And I said, and then I heard Steve Harris for the first time, and I was like, holy shit, man, this is. Because I love, John Paul Jones.
Yeah.
I loved all these stuff. Geezer Butler. I love the way that they play, but Steve just did something to me, bro. I was like,
He's a master.
Wow, bro. Yeah.
And still is.
Yeah, it still is. I said, I want my fingers to fly like that. And I was like, and then I went to my dad and I said, Dad, I want to do music now. He goes, now you want to do music? What the fuck? And he was like, oh my God, bro, we just spent all this money on like brushes and this and easels and blah, bro. Like I had like literally like back then, like $1,000 worth of shit, bro. Like my whole room was fucking art, bro,
Yeah.
And my dad's like, oh my God. And so we went to this pawn shop. Padrino's pawn shop on 8th Street in Calle Ocho, Padrino's, I'll never forget. And Padrino was there, the actual owner, this old dude.
Is this Miami?
Like, in Miami,
okay.
Yeah. And I bring all my shit, my brushes and all that shit. And he's like, my dad starts talking to that guy, and that guy's waving his hands going, no, like, no, I can't. This is garbage. What am I going to do with this shit? And he's like, oh, please just take it. And then my dad told me later that he took it later just as a trade to make me feel like I was giving something, because I told my dad, no, I'll give all my stuff and they'll give me money for that. And my dad said, they're not going to give us anything for this, son. And I was like, no, come on. So anyways, long story short, my dad's like, okay, we made a deal. And my dad said, which bass do you want? And I said, that one. And it was a yellow Hondo bass, like ugly as fuck. And my dad said, that one? No, you're not getting fucking that one. No fucking way, And he was like, and I was like, I want fucking that one. And he was like, no, you're not getting that. That bass fucked up. That bass sucks. I was like, I want that one. And he was like, okay, fuck. So I take this Hondo and I fucking like fixed it and cleaned it. Like it was like, bro, like the best shit, like like a prize, like the best shit I've ever gotten in my life. And I played it for 7 hours a day.
Wow. You self-taught? Did you take lessons?
No, I never took a fucking lesson in my life, bro,
So what did you try to start playing to begin with?
I started fucking playing everything I can fucking learn. So that's why. And then I started.
Was it like Maiden or? I
played Maiden. I played fucking. I knew every fucking song.
Wow.
Every song.
Okay, so and how long did it take you to start really getting it, or was it right away?
Right away, bro. Right away. It was like wow. I already knew the technique. Obviously it's all about formation and positioning but it's because I was around it for so long.
Yeah.
Because I looked at my dad, the way that he positioned his fingers when he would play. Bro, my dad, I was around, I was looking at it since I was fucking born,
Yeah.
So it's like muscle memory.
You were always going to school.
I was always going to school. It was all, you fucking said a mouthful, Dave, Death Metal Dave. You said a mouthful. I was always in school, even though I didn't know it yet.
Right.
I was always in fucking school, bro, And anyways, the rest was application. You just have to apply yourself. Now you got to apply yourself, and boom, and here I go. And then I met Alex Marquez.
Oh yeah, Alex.
Yeah, I met Alex Marquez. We were the first rhythm section in our junior high school transition,
Oh, okay.
And then we used to fucking practice in Alex's room, And then we auditioned for Hell Witch. We got in Hell Witch. Then We auditioned for another band, this punk band. We got in this punk band, and then now we were active as musicians, not professional, but we were active. We were practicing every day, every fucking day.
How old were you then when you and Alex got together? You said early high school?
I was 14.
Oh, 14.
I was 14.
Shit.
Yeah, I was 14. Yeah, I was 14.
So when did you start playing the Hell Witch?
14.
Oh, 14. Oh, shit. Okay, damn. That is fucking young. And I'm sure they were probably a little bit older than maybe. Or maybe.
Yeah, they were. Pat was way older. Yeah. And I remember Pat was coming up with these crazy, Hell Witch.
That's right.
Crazy ass fucking crazy riffs, bro.
That's right, because Hell Witch was born while he was in college in Gainesville, and then he brought it back to Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah.
So as I changed him, and I was like, what the fuck? And here I am. I'm fucking mimicking all that shit that Pat had some crazy ass riffs, bro, Yeah. And we're playing another, I learned all that shit. Boom. So that, the thing that the gift that, one of the greatest gifts, given to me, and I truly believe, that this is divine intervention, is my ear. I have a very defined ear. I have perfect pitch, I have perfect, I can define tonalities and solfeggios and frequencies and stuff. And this is not something you develop. This is something that comes with you. You know what I'm saying? And
the ear.
Obviously, the ear is something that, you have no ear, you better fear. That's your fucked. But definitely, that was the transition. And then obviously we got into, then Dennis Munoz, that was later on, Solstice and blah, 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 blah. And, that whole journey. Then Alex and I started a band called Asphyxia, which I was the singer and bass player. I was like Tom Araya. Yeah, I wanted to be like Tom Araya from Slayer, And so anyway, and we had these other two guitar players, blah blah blah. And then was the transition where we started sharing a warehouse with Cynic, And the band was Jack, Mark Van Erp, Paul Masvidal, and Sean Reiner. And Jason wasn't in the band yet. Yeah, Jason Goebel wasn't in the band yet. But that's pretty much till there. If you want me to continue, or you want to go ahead and ask me something else, but that's pretty much the journey till there. The warehouse days, and taking. Keep in mind that I was only 15 years old by all that time. All that shit happened in a year's time. All those developments and transitions happened in 1 year. When I met Paul and Sean and Mark and all these guys, I was only 15 at the time.
And then and then you did a couple demos with Cynic. And I actually have one of those here. Yeah, the
90 and 91 demo. Yeah, well, remember that in that time, we were, that's a little further down the line before, I joined Cynic. Mark was leaving, and Jason was already in the band, and they asked me if I would be, if I would want to join the band. You know what I'm saying? And I was still 15 at that time.
That's crazy.
I was still 15. And then I started obviously learning, and then we did our first show at the Cameo, opening up for Flotsam and Jetsam.
That's fucking sick at 15 years old.
Yeah, 15 years old. I was already playing the thrash camp with Sepultura. Actually, it was on my birthday because everybody thought that Paulo and myself, we looked alike from Sepultura because I had the long hair, and everybody was like, look like Paulo from Sepultura, man.
You look close back then, yeah.
Yeah, back then. And, and we were actually very good friends. We were actually very good friends. We would see each other, and be like, "Hey, what's up?" And I love I love your bass playing, and then obviously the time that we went to Tampa to record the 90 demo.
Yeah.
That's when I met Roger for the first time.
Right.
And we went to a show. That Atheist was doing in some fucking, like, a farm somewhere. Those shows would be like in Tampa. They would be like in farms and shit like that, like in hangars, in fucking airplane hangars and shit like that. I remember I went to see fucking Amon Deicide, and he was throwing like chunks of meat. With blood on it and shit, and these pitbulls were going at this meat like they were running around fucking with blood on it. So I was like, what the fuck is going on?
That was that was the Tampa Armory, So
and I was like, what? And he was like, we're a man, not a man.
That's fucking crazy. Those were good. Those were fun times back then.
No, super fun times.
Well, because of that, because I seen Deicide or Amon so many times, I knew when he was going to do that, because I knew them, and I would ask Steve, "Hey, what song are you going to fucking throw that shit out?" Because I would know to get to near the door, because as soon as it started flying, I'd go outside, because it smelled of rotting dead flesh, and I just didn't want. I endured it a couple times, but I didn't want to do it every time. Jesus. Plus,
it was.
We didn't even realize it, but that shit could have fucking gotten us all sick.
Yeah, bro, it was crazy. I can't believe those dogs didn't fucking die right there.
Oh, bro, I know, right? Yeah.
It was insane.
That is fucking funny. So anyways,
it was.
So you met Atheist, and then of course we all know that they recorded an album and they went on tour, and then came the Faithful Crash that killed Roger.
Yes.
And then and so
they were on tour. They were on tour with Candlemass.
Right. And tell us about how that came about. And
well, I was actually working at a deli in Miami, and Alex called the deli, and they were like, I actually got in trouble because they were like, "Oh, you can't get phone calls here, personal call." I'm like, "Oh, well, I never gotten a phone call here. It must be something really." And then I'm like, I'm like, "Who's hello?" And Alex didn't even say anything. He said, Roger's dead, screaming, like, and I was like, who? I was like, Alex? And he's like, "Right." She wouldn't even. I would say, "Is this Alex? Alex, what's going on?" And he would just keep screaming, "Roger's dead. Roger's dead.
Wow.
Roger's dead." And I was like, what the fuck? And right there, I just started crying. I was like, this is so fucked up, But back then we don't have fucking cell phones or anything. How the fuck am I gonna call who? Nobody. I'm like, so I'm there. I'll never forget. I was 16 years old, bro, and I was a kid. I fucking, bro. Look at a 16-year-old today. It's a little kid, bro. And I was like, wow. I couldn't fathom. I couldn't. It didn't register well. I was like, I didn't really know what that was like. To lose a friend like that. Somebody young too. I lost my grandfather. He was 90, and stuff like that. But a young musician friend, like close to me, like that, because Roger was my friend, man.
Right.
He was my bro, man. Great guy, man. What a good guy, bro. What a great guy, bro.
He was.
Like, what a wonderful, what a happy, like, full of life, like, just humble, just like happy to be there person, bro. Like, really like grateful all the time. Like, hey man, like I remember in that show, he bought a hat, bro, with $20 that he had, and he gave it to me, bro. He goes, oh, I want you to have this. And I was like, bro, you just bought it for yourself. He goes, he goes, no, I bought it for you. I was like, bro. I'm sorry, but
wow. That's killer that he did that.
Yeah, he was such a great person.
Yeah, he was.
I miss him so much every time I think about it. But anyways, I was like, wow, bro, this is incredible, you know. And anyways, sorry about that, guys. I'm like, how, bro. But anyways, it was great memories, man. Great memories of greatness, of actually watching greatness play in front of you. The way this kid, because he was a young man doing he was born to do, man. Like fucking at 11, bro. Not even 10. This guy was going fucking in, bro. Like what the fuck? Like I was like, holy shit! I was like, what the fuck is this guy doing? Like what the fuck?
He was fucking amazing, and it just goes to show you, it doesn't matter who you are or what you are. It could be gone in an instant.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So live your life, people.
Absolutely, man. Everything is temporary, man. The good and the bad. You know, just harness it, nourish it. Look at, be conscious. Look at everything around you every fucking day of your life. Be grateful for what you got and what you don't have too, man, because that's what's going to shape you for the rest of your life, you know? And tell everybody you love them. Even if you hate them, still tell them you fucking love them. You know what I'm saying? Because, it's like, and fear nothing, bro. Fear fucking nothing. Fear nothing, bro, you know?
And honestly, I don't hate anybody. Personally, I do not hate anybody.
You shouldn't.
I might not like how they are, but I don't.
Hey, listen. At the end of the day, you don't have to be nice. You could be polite. You could be respectful. You could be kind. You could be a lot of things. You don't actually have to be nice to anybody, you know, but you could be all these other things, you know what I'm saying? Because in the world of matter, people mistake nice for weakness. So you have to dabble a little bit with that type of stuff, you know, and this shit, this tough stuff that people put up, they're not fucking tough. It's their fucking insecurities, bro. That's what these tough people that this person's tough. It's bullshit. It's not toughness. It's actually fucking weakness, you know? And they're showing this type of front, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and you know what? At the end of the day, everybody's fucking tough. You gotta be fucking tough to fucking live life, bro. You gotta be fucking tough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and it's so easy to be nice and polite. It takes effort to be angry and mean to people.
Facts. Fucking facts, bro. True facts.
So anyways, back to how you got to be asked to join Atheist.
Yeah, that was actually at Roger's funeral, man. You know,
okay.
It was at Roger's funeral. You know, they had to do Unquestionable Presence. They had this,
record contract
commitment. Yeah, it was a commitment. You know, they had to do this commitment, and they had to serve their contract, and they were like, hey, listen, we asked Doug Kaiser from Watchtower, and he fucking declined. You know, we don't cool. We have nobody else that could do this stuff that Roger did, and I was 16, bro.
That's crazy.
It's like I was still in high school, bro. I was like, oh, so I was like, oh, I'm still in high school. I'm like, how am I gonna do it? And they're like, oh, you just come up here on the weekends to Sarasota. So for like 3 months, I drove up to Sarasota every fucking week.
Damn.
Talk about commitment, bro.
Yeah.
Talk about coming through for not just Atheist, but I did it for Roger, bro.
Right,
I did it for
right.
Roger.
Yeah.
I did it. My focus was I gotta do this for Roger. I gotta do this for Roger. Roger's music has to come out, and I'm gonna do my very best for it to see it through, and for me to make it justice, and for people to hear what this man created. As far as Unquestionable Presence is a fucking masterpiece, bro. It's a masterpiece.
So let me ask you a question. So were demos already recorded? So did you know what you were getting into, what you were going to play, or
No.
Oh, okay.
No,
so you had to do it on the fly. I mean, of course you practiced and shit.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they had some type of idea, concept that this is what Rogers was trying to do. That's why you hear in some of the songs a bit of the Tony Choy twist, because I had to do it like that. There was no demos. There was no complete stuff. There were some parts and songs and rehearsals and things like that, but there was nothing that I could really portray and something that I could really go off of,
Right,
I had
gotcha.
to figure that shit out, man. And again, I'll go back to it. I was a 16-year-old kid in high school that had been playing for literally bass for 4 years. I had no time. There was no time. I had to fucking do this or not do it, and I'm gonna fucking do it. I'm that type of person. I apply myself, and but all those years those 2 years before that, I would fucking grind, and obviously playing in a band like Cynic and playing with a drummer like Sean Reiner and playing with a guitar player like Paul Masvidal and playing with a guitar player like Jason Goble really catapulted me to preparation to have this type of ability, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so anyways, and then just being a jazz kid and being very, I guess, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Curious, I'm lost for words right now, but nevertheless, it's really, do I want this? Yes, bro, if you really want something, you'll fucking do it, bro.
You were curious to see where it was going to go, weren't you?
Well, not really. I didn't care. Ever since I've been a kid, I've never concentrated on the outcome. I don't give a fuck about what's going to happen. Just make it happen.
Right. Gotcha.
What's going to happen will happen. I'm not this person that, let me see. Oh, think. No, bro, you better fucking create and stop the fucking thinking. Creators don't think and thinkers don't create, okay? Thinkers only think and they don't do shit but think. Creators create. So now it's time to fucking create. So let's create, and that was my main purpose, bro. I need to create and like be a replica almost of this guy, of Roger, of
gotcha,
this amazing, iconic, freaking fucking master musician at 24 years young. This guy, God knows what he would have been doing now.
Right. Yeah, man.
Think about it, bro. think about where that guy would have been right now as a musician. He would have been probably scoring fucking movies or something, or creating, God knows, classical pieces or something. Because this guy was very elevated, man.
Yeah.
Roger was extremely elevated from another fucking planet, bro. You know?
Yeah.
So
and also back then, Atheist wasn't championed like they are today. They were kind of pushed aside a lot of the times.
Well, remember, remember, it was a very, very fucking, weird, obscure, eclectic, fucking, it was different.
Oh yeah.
And people don't like different.
Technical as hell.
Different. Yeah, at that time, it was, people were just barely getting into death metal.
Yeah.
It was death metal. Remember, death metal
baby.
in the 90s was a brand new genre. You know, it was born from thrash metal, which then it transitioned. It's all a transition, bro, of subgenres. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And listen to the word subgenre means it's under. It's under.
Yep.
So it needs to emerge up, So the subgenre to become an actual genre, it takes years, bro. It takes time.
Oh yeah.
It remains on the bottom till it rises up to the top. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And now look at now we actually, first it was math metal with DBC, Dead Brain Cells. Remember DBC from Canada?
Oh yeah.
Go explosion. You had Watchtower.
Watchtower.
Instruments of Random Earth. Fucking what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then you had you had a lot of different bands that were doing what Atheist was doing, which later on they didn't survive because Coroner, for God's sakes, Coroner, bro, Coroner, a three-piece band, Coroner, was doing crazy shit, man. Even Destruction, bro. Even Destruction. Mike's riffs, which he's a fucking, to me, he's a superhero in the fucking, not just thrash metal overall. The riffs that this guy wrote for Destruction, bro, released from Agony, all these freaking records, bro. Like, bro, this guy is a master riffer, bro. A master riffer. You know what I'm saying? Like Jack Hanneman, like fucking, the list goes on and on. But anyways, the long story short, the record is done. Now it's time to go record. Now we're ready. All right, we're going. Boom. We go to More Sound, where this is true story, guys. Here we go. We're in Studio B and Taken. When I was 15, I discovered Malea's Malfakar.
Yeah.
From Pestilence.
Yeah.
And they were the Dutch Masters. And I was like, what the fuck? And dude, I listened to that record for weeks, months, back to back, bro.
That was one of my favorites at the time that it came out.
Oh my God, bro. It was Parasite.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, wow. Freaking Chemotherapy, like,
yes.
Like, fuck, bro. It's like, I was like, what the fuck? This is my favorite. Yeah. I was like, this is my favorite band. That's it. This is it. Pestilence. Little did I know that on the day of, August. It was August. On the day of August, that Atheist entered Morristown in Studio B, I would get to meet my fucking death metal heroes, Pestilence, as they were in Studio A, bro. Can you believe that shit, bro?
That's how it happens usually. It's just by chance.
And I'm like, fuck. And I'm like, wow. And I meet Patrick and I tell him, you guys are my fucking favorite band, this and that, and da 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 da. Little did I know that during that time, Patrick would watch me play doing the Atheist record, and they talked it over with Monty Connor from Roadrunner, Road Racer,
Yeah.
with Scott Burns and Patrick, and they said, Patrick comes to me one day and says, "Oh, can I talk to you?" And I was like, "Sure, absolutely, man, of course, man." You know, I was a 17. I just turned 17 at that time. And I was like, yeah, I remember I had a birthday in Morristown. My birthday was in Morristown, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, and this and that. And freaking, Patrick comes to me. He goes, "Oh, let me ask you something. You know, I watched you play this stuff like that. And, we're not going to use our bass player, Nick, this Canadian kid." And I was like, "Oh, what do you mean?" He's like, yeah. We're going to send them home." And I was like, I didn't know what the fuck was happening. I was like, what? Oh, wow. That's, oh man, I'm sorry to hear that. He goes, no, don't be sorry. You're going to play the bass on the New Testimony of the Ancients. I was like, what?
He just tells you.
Yeah, he just tells me, "You're going to play." And I'm like, and he goes, "Would you like to play in the record?" And I'm like, "But I don't know the songs." And he's like, "Oh, you'll learn the songs. Don't worry about it. I'm going to teach them to you." And I was like, "Okay." And he goes, and "We're going to give you $1,000. At 17, bro, in 1990, you know, oh my God, this is unbelievable. And anyway, so that was it. And I learned all the songs in 7 hours, and I recorded them.
Sick.
You know, so that was like, you know, again, you know, life, the journey, it's not about what happens. It's the people that you meet.
Yes.
And I met, you know, and this kid that came from Cuba met Alex, and we had a band, and we thought about. Then I met Cynic, and then Cynic, I met Atheist, and from Atheist, I went to the studio. I met Pestilence, and then from Pestilence, and that's how the career started, man. You know?
Yeah.
And then I went on tour, and
did you tour with Atheist first, or
I toured with Pestilence first?
Oh, Pestilence first. Okay.
Yeah, with Pestilence first. Yeah, because immediately after I recorded the record, I had to go to Europe, and I remember that was an ordeal because I was only a resident alien, and at that time in the early 90s, you know, I didn't even have a citizenship. I wasn't a citizen because I wasn't 18 yet. I couldn't become a citizen till I was 18 years old. So it was this whole thing. And they actually, you know, I'm very grateful for Patrick Mamelli, man. You know, Patrick was a great supporter of Tony Choy. And, you know, and I'll say it out, you know, for the record, Patrick, you know, and this is to Patrick Mamelli. Thank you, man. Thank you. I really want to thank you for everything that you did for my career, as well as Atheist, as well as Cynic, you know, to Sean that is not with us anymore. You know, for the record, Sean Reiner, I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, I love you. I miss you. You made me the player that I am today, and I owe you my life as a musician. To Roger as well, thank you for the opportunity. We are all here today representing you, even though you're not here in matter, but you're here in spirit. And I love you and I miss you. And I think I speak for everybody out there. You changed the way that we hear music today and that we see everything. And everybody every band out there in the progressive metal genre and community owes this man a freaking standing ovation, man. Let me tell you, bro. And don't you ever forget where it came from. To all these new bands, to the ones that have been serving there before, and to the new ones that are going to come later on in life after we're not here anymore. You know, you have these heroes, man, that paved the way for you, you know, that opened the doors for all you musicians out there. So I think that a recognition should be done. And Death Metal Dave is going to do it in a museum, baby.
Fuck yeah. So so you toured with Pestilence, then you did Atheist, and then did you guys start writing Elements?
Yeah, that's another twist. You know, I did this whole Pestilence thing. Then I went with Atheist because Kelly asked me, "Hey, look, we got to do this record, and we only have 40 days, and blah 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 blah,
Wow.
and you know, to write it and record it, you know." And I was like, "What the again?
Wow.
You know, another freaking challenge, you know."
Yeah.
And I was like, let's do it, you know, let's fucking sign me up. And I went to Tampa.
Steve was Steve had left?
Yeah, Steve was
moment.
out. Yeah,
he went to school or something.
We didn't even have a drummer, bro, you know. And I started like helping Kelly audition drummers, you know.
Right.
And finally we took a leap of faith and we went to Gainesville, you know, and we literally wrote all the songs in a hotel in 40 days and recorded it. We wrote the songs in 30 days. In a month, we wrote fucking the whole Elements album. Frank Emmy, Ram Berkey, and Josh wasn't there because he's the drummer. He would just come like once in a, but the actual music, and I wrote all the drum parts.
Oh, okay.
Like
did you play drums then too?
I did. You know, I did. I played percussion and drums, but all the drums that you hear on the Elements album, I wrote those drums. I wrote all those drums.
So when did you learn to play drums? Was that also about the time you started playing bass, or?
No, I didn't. It wasn't something that an instrument that I was, you know, that I applied to. Yeah, you know, but
pursuing.
I knew I wasn't like behind the kit type of guy. You know, I just knew the patterns. And,
gotcha.
And you know the patterns, and I would mimic those patterns with my bass. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you know, there would come times where I would fucking get behind the drum set and tell Josh, this is what I want. You know?
Right, gotcha.
As you could, you know, as because for the Elements album, it's not. It's time for me to be me. You know?
Yeah.
Roger's Unquestionable Presence. Now Elements that's my record. You know what I'm saying? So you know, and Kelly. And Kelly knew that, and Kelly said, "You could be you, bro. Just be you, and this is the chance that people get to hear Tony Choy." And I said, "That's why I signed up too, because I was like, okay, now so that's why that record sounds very rhythmic. It's a lot of rhythm there, you know, because I did that on purpose. I said, I truly believe that any type of music needs a rhythm section and a melodic section, you know. So I split the band into the guitars would be like the melodies and like strings, or in an orchestra like the piano or something like that. And that's how I wrote Samba Breeze, you know. And then I said, and Josh Greenbaum and I will just be the rhythm section. We will come to the melody once in a while when it's intricate and needed, but for that there will be a separation, and you will be able to distinguish the rhythm section from the melodic section. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's how, you know, take it again. You know, you got an 18-year-old kid here doing these type of arrangements, and musical compositions and construction as it is, that I was like, how do I make this, be cohesive, very cohesive, but then again, metal, but then again, progressive, then again, melodic, so I say, Frank Emmy and Rand, of course, they were the freaking perfect combination of string instruments to combine this orchestral freaking illusion of this. Man, it was fucking wonderful. If you hear that record, it's simple, but it's not simple. You see what I'm saying? It's simplistic enough for you to hear it as a whole, but if you really get in there, you'll be like, if you hear the shit that we're playing all at the same time, but differently, you'll be like, wow, that was very well orchestrated, man. Very well orchestrated for some fucking kids. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For some kids, you know what I'm saying? So, anyways, because, you hear trap music today and all that shit that's out there, urban music and all that stuff. It's fucking crap. It doesn't, but bro, it's nobody's playing anything. And I'm sorry, to each his own. I don't mean to disrespect anybody. I disagree. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can disagree, but you don't have to disrespect. And I'm not disrespecting anybody. I'm just disagreeing that today's music is diluted, watered down, and it's just downright shit. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of it is.
There's no effort to it, bro. There's no effort. There's no thought. There's no thought process. You know what I'm saying? There's no arrangement. It's very, very poorly done. It's fucking lazy. Nobody's taking the time to really say, let's see the constructional part of these two things and how they combine together. Does it work? Oh no, that doesn't work. We're fucking chemists. We're chemists. We're in a lab creating formulas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I always say, listen, music was made to communicate. Math was made to solve fucking problems. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're trying to communicate with people. So fucking, bro, speak the fucking language correctly. You see what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
And, but anyways.
And just to be fair, not everybody's like that.
Not everybody. That's why I say to each his own. And I put my disclaimer out there. I don't mean to disrespect, but I disagree with the process today that it's not being respected. It's not being respected, And anyways, I
was just going to say, so since people might have thought you dropped off planet Earth, but you have not. You have been busy. And you have done other things, like you can touch on C-187, Fire for Effect, Synaptic, Synkronizity, and you're currently still a part of Voracious Scourge. And you've been busy still, and that's not all. How did all these come together? I know Rest in Peace, Brett Hoffman, Fire for Effect.
Yeah, that's just Gio and Brett and the moment I heard that Mike Smith was going to be on the record, I was like, tie my shit up. You know what I'm saying? Michael, that's another fucking beast of a musician. Multi-instrumentalist. Michael is one of the most
a beast.
Like another fucking level, another iconic piece,
and
to all of this
awesome fucking dude too.
Oh my God, my brother, fucking brother, Michael Smith. I just want to say, I love you. You're the fucking wow. You're not just an incredible human being, but a brother and a hell of a freaking musician. My God, you set the fucking, not just the pace, but the race.
Yeah.
for freaking, for try to catch up to this guy, man. I don't know, man. You gotta wake up pretty fucking early in the morning, bro, to do what this man has created, bro. And at the end of the day, just overall, we would love to see you, man. We would love to see you play sometime soon again, man. I know that you're out there, and I hope that you listen to this, but we love you, Michael, man. You changed the way not just people play the drums, but the way people hear it and embrace it, and wow, another freaking iconic piece to this whole game. So I heard Michael was going to be in it, and I signed right up, and freaking played some tracks, and there it is. As far as the rest of the bands go, I did that stuff, as a session player, and Jason, and all these guys. Syncronicity obviously is my personal project. That's something that I put together because, I wanted to something of my own for the first time, something that's really me, not this band, not that band. Synchronicity is Tony Choy,
Hell yeah.
And we're doing a new record, just food for thought. I'm going to release, I know that I've been saying this for a long time, but hey, look, man, these things take time, and space, and when you want to do things the right way, you have to do it the right way.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, to me, there is no right or wrong. It's only right. I don't go left unless I have to make a left turn somewhere.
And I think you have your own studio too, don't you?
I did have my own studio. Yeah, I have studios that I can go to, and I have my own little project studio that I do stuff and create and stuff like that. I'm always creative. As a matter of fact, I was at Guitar Center yesterday just because, my God, everybody, just kind of fast forward this way a little bit. I throughout my career, I not just became a bass player, I became a percussionist and a guitar player. And my real forte is I'm a vocal producer. They call me Big Voice.
Okay.
And that's how I started getting all my Grammys, my Grammy nominations, which I'm up for a 4th Grammy nomination, by the way, now in November, for a record that I did for this tropical artist from Puerto Rico called Sheila King. You guys are going to see the Grammy nominations coming out soon. So hopefully we win, but if we don't, I got a 4th Grammy nomination there. I just recorded, truth be told, I just recorded for this actor. His name is Michael Mando, and Michael Mando is in the series Breaking Bad and You Better Call Saul from Netflix,
Oh, okay.
So he's Nacho Varga, and I did his new single. I was his vocal producer, and I'm always, people always call me, hey, can you do this record? Can you I make a good living, off of these type of things, but they're very sporadic. They're not. It's not something that it's not my career choice anymore. I have other businesses and real estate and this and that, and I retired from music 5 years ago, like completely retired.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it's just a fun. Now it's just a hobby.
Yeah. Now it's just it's just for fun, and I do it for passion, and people people still pay me for records that I do and stuff like that, but I don't do it as I have to really like it. But I am releasing, I am doing a new Synchronicity album, and a whole album, which that's coming up. I'll release the names of the players. Really amazing players are going to be on this new record. It's going to be a full length LP. I'm going to release vinyls. I'm going to do it right. And you guys will see me out there soon. I'm going to do some European tours, festivals, And if there's any agents, I know that I asked you, Death Metal Dave, I asked you to do some management for me at one time, which that's still up for grabs. I'll put it out there because this is what this radio interview is about, for me to reach out to the masses and to the fans and to the agents and to the labels and stuff like that. And this is why we do these things, so people can know that I'm somewhat active in the system and in the genre, and would love to connect with as many people as I can, and go out and support the record. I'll release a lot through Death Metal Dave. We'll put some things together, and obviously through the museum as well. But I'm gonna use this platform a lot to get some backup and support, so people can know what's going on with Tony Choy.
You don't you have something being made, Tony Choy bass?
Yes, actually, I have a new Tony Choy. Thank you, Dave, for adding that in as a reminder. Yeah. So there's actually a brand new Tony Choy signature bass guitar coming out now. We're working on it in Istanbul, Turkey, by Adamnau Strings, Jorge Adamnau. A shout out to Jorge Adamnau. Jorge, thank you so very much for you and your wife and your company taking this amazing task and doing this. It's going to be a beautiful instrument. It's going to be a 4-string and a 5-string. Brazilian exotic woods. It's going to be super, oh my God, it's going to be an art piece, super art piece. And, so I'm going to take it out on tour with me and stuff like that. But yeah, a new Tony Choy signature bass guitar is coming out, and, it will be out in the market. I don't know how soon, but we are working on it. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Fuck yeah, man. So just to be clear now, on your Grammys, that's mostly in like Spanish music?
On the Grammys is, yes, mostly is the Spanish genre. Obviously the first one was with my group Area 305, which was, an iconic, that group changed the genre, the pop genre as it seems today. And then the other one was with Sheila King. And then my third one was we just went diamond. So with you go platinum and then you have diamond.
Oh shit!
One of the first records ever to go diamond. Only Michael Jackson has ever gone diamond.
What?
This record went diamond. Yeah, it's called Mi Gente. A lot of people probably heard it. It's J Balvin and Willie William, and I was the vocal producer to that record, and this record got now it has over, I think, 10.9 billion views already and counting on YouTube alone. And now it was platinum, and now it just went diamond. So, it's a great freaking milestone for me in the music business. And it's something that, it's a legacy. It's something that I will leave here for years to come. And that was my third one. And God willing, this will be a great, and let me accentuate on God now. Let me go to my faith. And I hope, Dave, you don't mind me, kind of
do what you want, man.
Right
it's your exactly. Floor.
And I want people to know that first and foremost, I'm a man of God, and go figure that I started with a band called Atheist.
Right.
But I am a licensed and ordained minister today, 9 years in the ministry. I mean, 9 years as licensed. And I want people to really simmer on that because, a lot of people are judgmental I'm not religious. Okay. I already stated it, God, what is God? God, generator, operator, destroyer. These are things that people don't understand of the proven factors, it's not a man with a beard in the sky. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's an energy, man. It's an energy. We are energy. We are salt and water, 70% of our body. You know what I'm saying? We are cells. We are cells of a battery. We are like a battery, positive and negative. People, understand who you really are. You know what I'm saying? You are light, We come from space, we occupy space, and we go back to space. You see what I'm saying? And it's like people, time does not exist. It only exists in the world of matter, where nothing fucking really matters. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what is time? Time is the space between past and future. That's what we fucking call time. But everything else is fucking space. So anyways, I just wanted to add that, guys, because people sometimes confuse because they want to diffuse what they don't fucking know. You know what I'm saying? So in confusion, there's a lot of, and it's not even about truth, because what is the truth? The truth is something that somebody else told you, and that probably is not the truth because he heard it from somebody else. It's like, at the end of the day, the truth is the one that you really want to know, and you find out for your fucking self. That's the fucking truth. Anyway, I'm done with that.
Fuck yeah. Dude, you know what? Your other calling is motivational speaker. For sure. That's what I think.
Well, listen. I think we are all our motivators. We're all our motors, bro. You see, motivator. You see, the word in motivator is a fucking motor. We're a motor, bro. We're a motor. Crank up that fucking motor and let's get it to work, man. And I say it again, we're cells of one battery, bro.
Yeah.
We gotta charge ourselves. We gotta know how to fucking go back to the charging station like a fucking Tesla. Where's the charging station? The fucking ground, bro. Stick your feet in the ground or go to the ocean. Jump in the fucking ocean. That's the field. That's where you recharge, bro. Again, we are 70% salt and water inside our body. When you sweat salt and fucking water. When you cry, fucking tears are salt and water. Taste it. You'll see. It's fucking, it's not rocket scientist, man. People they want to fucking diversify and divide and all this fucking bullshit when everything's about unity, bro. Everything's about unity, so again, I'll get off the fucking motivational speaker.
Hey, Tony, and I love you, bro. That's for sure. And I can't wait to come visit you and see your gold and diamond and Grammy shit that you got around. I'm looking forward to coming and hanging out with you for a little bit.
I'm going to give you some plaques of my records for the museum. How's about that? I'm going to give you my bass.
You're going to loan them?
And I'll, no, I'm going to give them to you. I'm going to donate it to the museum. Absolutely, bro. I'm going to
say this out loud. Museum. Don't get offended, Tony. Score for the Tampa Bay Museum of Metal, and that's what we need more of.
That's right. Let's go. Let's support the Tampa, the Tampa Bay
Museum of Metal.
Museum of Metal.
Now, and it's preserving the history of Florida metal.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And it's something for your kids, your kids' to go and check it out. And man, we really built something here, really something solid, Listen, so solid that it's fucking metal.
Fuck yeah. And I'm excited about our next exhibit, and we plan on doing bigger and better things after that. The sky is the limit is what you always preach. And yes, it's fucking awesome. Tony, seriously, dude, I love you, bro. And
I love you too, man.
And I want to thank you
so much for this.
I want to thank you for coming on. It's always a pleasure to talk to you, man. It always is.
Absolutely. And to everybody out there, Godspeed, stay solid, stay positive, stay in tune, and stay fucking metal.
Fuck yeah. All right, Tony, talk to you later, bro.
Talk to you later, my bro. Love you, man. Bye-bye.
See you.